Today I'm going to show you how to create a concept map using Google Drawings. The concept that we're going to map today is matter. So I'm creating a text box in the middle of my screen with the word matter. I'm going to center that in the text box. And to help this stand out a little bit, I'm creating a backdrop for it, a rounded rectangular shape. And I'm going to arrange that by sending it to the back. We could also hit Command-Shift and the down arrow button. I'm going to select both concepts by holding the Shift key. Both elements are selected now. And I'm going to arrange those so that they are aligned vertically and horizontally. Next I'm going to hit Command G, or I could go to the Arrange menu and click on the word Group to make a group out of those. So Command G groups them. And finally I'm going to arrange these so that they're centered on the page horizontally and vertically. I'm ready to begin my concept map with the topic of matter. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is create the two subtopics. Matter is made up of two things, pure substances being one of them. So I've created another text box, typed in the word pure substance, and just like before I'm going to center pure substance in the middle of my text box. I'm going to create a different shape as a backdrop for this one. We'll use an oval this time. And a different color. We'll take this object and move it to the back by hitting Command-Shift and the down arrow. And we'll select both objects, holding the Shift key as we select, and we'll align these objects with each other. Command-G makes a group out of them. I've got my second concept set up here. There are two types of matter, I said, so while holding the Option button, I'm dragging down my second concept, pure substance, so I got a second copy of it. I'm going to replace this text with the word mixtures, and I'm going to connect concepts now using a line. Alright, so I've got connections. Now the connections don't look real neat yet, and that's partly because I need to move those lines to the back of the screen. So let's do that next. I'm going to select both lines, and I'm going to go up to the Arrange, Order, Send to Back, or again we could hit the Command-Shift down arrow button to do that. I'm also going to select both arrows, holding the Shift key while I select, or both lines there, and make them a little bit thicker. And it's coming together a little bit. Now if I move this concept, pure substance, as I probably will need to as I rearrange my concept map, you'll notice that the line doesn't move. There's a trick to that. If you take your line and you drop one end of it on one of these purple anchor points, either from the shape or from the text box, you get anchor points. We can drop that right on the anchor point, and we'll do that with the other end of the line. Again, we can either drop it on the shape or the text box inside the shape. I'll just drop it right here. You'll notice that these two things now are connected with a line that remains anchored even if you move the object. However, that line doesn't look real neat, especially when I have certain placements of that. If I put this object over here, I wish the line went from center to center, so I'm going to show you a trick to doing that. I'm going to create a third object, a little circle, to add to this. Make it easier to see, I'm going to make it red. If I drop this circle toward the center of this object and then I select my circle and my concept, holding the Shift key while I select them, I can arrange this so it's aligned right in the middle. And Command-G will group those together. I've now created my own anchor point that will be at the center of this, like that one. So I selected it. I'm going to hit Command-D to duplicate it. So now I've got a second anchor point that I'm going to drop over on this text box. And I'll go ahead and select the matter concept along with that anchor point and arrange it so that this one is also centered. And group these. What that does is it creates a nice place for me to drop this line. I'm going to drop it just right in the center there on that circle that I've created. And it doesn't look exactly neat yet, so we can just take that anchor. I'm going to select that and make it transparent so we can't see the fill or the line color on that. And same with this one, selecting my circle and now making it transparent. Alright, this is coming out a lot better now. As I rearrange my concept map, no matter where I move this, my line will stay connected, and it will stay connected so it goes from center to center of my concepts. Okay, the next concept that I'm going to create, I'm going to draw a text box for this. There are two types of pure substances. The first type are known as elements. So I've written that in a text box, and I'm aligning that now to be in the center of my text box. And rather than drawing a shape for this one, I'm just going to use the rectangular shape of the text box and fill that in with a fill color. Really liked that circle that I had drawn before, so I'm going to go back up to my circle, and I'm going to duplicate that, hitting the Command D, and I'm going to attempt to drag this over. Now you'll notice if I do this carefully and I drop it, Google will automatically create some guides to drop that circle right on the center of this text box. That saves me the step of arranging it and aligning it to the center. Now I'm going to select my circle and my text box together, holding the Shift key to get them both, and I'm going to hit Command G to make a group out of those. My second concept, my second type of pure substance, I can create a second copy of this, holding the Option key and dragging it over. And I'm going to replace that text with the word compounds. So these are the two types of pure substances. Go back to my line tool, draw a line from center to center. And we'll do another one for compounds, connecting that to pure substances. Now I'll select both lines together, holding the Shift key while I click on them, and maybe make these a little bit bigger as well, and hit the Command Shift down arrow to move those to the back. Alright, you can see we're starting to build a concept map, and if we need to rearrange things, well, it's not going to work yet until I connect these properly. Should be able to rearrange my concept map as needed and maintain those connections. Alright, we can build this, we can add more details, we can add maybe some definitions to elements and compounds, we can put examples in, we can change colors, but you have the basics now of creating your own concept map. Look forward to seeing the work that you create. Good luck with your concept maps. We'll see you next time.